Just a very brief video here about pears. As I've said before, it was a terrible year for pears. We did have a few. This is a pear called Louise Bonne of Jersey. As you can see, it's a very attractive, very pretty pear, although this particular specimen isn't quite so pretty. And in fact, these have gone horrible. You don't need a knife for that. This is what happens to pears when they go past it. Okay, you need to pick pears before they're ripe and store them, and then at the correct temperature, and then just very carefully keep an eye on them, because pears go from being underripe to being just about edible, crunchy but edible, to being just very nearly perfect, to being perfect, to being just past perfect, and then they go to this. And it really is one of the most depressing things when you've grown your pears and this happens to them. I did eat a few of these. I've just been so busy I haven't had time to think about it. This, on the other hand, is a Concorde pear. Now, Concorde, out of the pears we grow, was the best cropper this year. We didn't have any Beurre Hardy, we didn't have any Concorde and Comice, we didn't have, I don't think we had any Conference, but the Concorde is the only pear that actually succeeded in an extremely bad year for pears. And pleasure to eat, lovely melting flesh. I had one of these last week and it was a little crunchy but worth eating. Now it's absolutely perfect. Storing pears, I don't want to say too much about it, I am not an expert, but talking about planting orchards, there's a lot to be said if you're planting a small backyard orchard of having at least one pear. I've mentioned about Winter Nelis, which is a very late keeping pear, not the right pear to grow if you only have one pear, because you can't eat them right from the tree. They won't be ready until at least December. Conference or Comice, Conference, I think no one ever got fired for growing Comice. It's a very good pear to grow. This is Concorde, which is a cross between Comice and Concorde and Comice and Conference. Let me just say that again. Concorde is a cross between Conference, which is considered the most reliable pear, self-fertile, good cropper, good season, not bad flavour, and Comice, which is not such a reliable cropper but has a very, very good flavour. This is said to have the benefits of both. I wouldn't go quite as far as that. It's much nearer to Conference than Comice, but this reliability means a lot. I've often said this, and this relates to the Cox's orange pippin problem. Cox's orange pippin is probably the most highly flavoured, probably the best overall balanced, excellent flavoured apple, but it's very, very hard to grow. So people say to me, well, should I grow a Cox? And I say, no, don't. You'll be much better off growing Sunset or Kid's Orange Red. And with pears, someone says, well, I'd like to grow a Comice, and I said, well, I'm not saying don't grow a Comice, and I grow some, but you'd be better off with a Conference or Concorde, which doesn't taste quite as good, but it's a much better cropper. Think about it, what would you rather have? 20 pounds of a well-flavoured pear, or 5 pounds of a perfectly beautiful pear? I know which I go for. Both. Anyway, if you're planting an orchard this year, I do not claim to be an expert. I do not claim to be an expert. I am not an expert, but I know what I know. And this year, in a very, very bad year for pears, Concorde came through for us. It's a recommend.